Hi guys! Today I'm doing another movie recommendations video, and ignore this. I just got this in the mail today from Amazon and I thought I would try it. I don't know if I can do it or not. I feel like I should be going back in time or something, but we're gonna see if I can edit this video and feel like I don't look crazy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Anyway, this video is about movies. You guys know I am a huge TV movie person. I've done already about 3 or 4 of these movie recommendations videos, but I have quite a long list of movies that I've seen in the last couple months. Pretty much every time I see a new movie, I write it down on this list, and then when I feel like there's too many, I film the video. The first movie on this list is called Turner and Hooch. It is with Tom Hanks, one of my all-time favorite actors in the world. Yeah, I think it was like 80s or early 90s, and it's about a guy who's a detective, which is Tom Hanks. Someone dies and they have a dog and he needs that dog for the evidence, and the dog is crazy, and it's just kind of like his relationship with the dog. So if you like Beethoven and like Air Bud, like those kinds of movies, you'll really like this. It's really funny and sweet, and I just really got into it. I think it's a really good date movie because it has a little bit of rom-com element, but it's not completely rom-com. Another one called The Other Sister. I literally just had a brain fart and can't remember anyone who's in it. Oh, Diane Keaton. She plays a mother. It's about a family who has, I think, 3 or 4 daughters, and one of them has a mental disability, and she has to go to a special school, and her parents kind of just treat her like she's still a child, even though she's an adult, and she wants to get a job, and she wants to have a boyfriend, and she wants to have a place of her own, and she wants to just be independent. And it's kind of about her family and treating her that way, and her mother a lot, like her relationship with her mother and how her mother treats her. But it's a very touching movie. It opens your eyes to a lot of things that you don't really realize that go on in people's lives. Next is Noel, which is a Christmas movie, and it's kind of weird, and it's definitely not the kind of movie that you'd think would be on a recommendations list because it probably has like 2 out of 5 stars for most people. It's one of those movies, it's kind of like Mother's Day, which I heard had the worst reviews ever. The ones with a lot of different celebrities. It had Robin Williams in it, so that's, I mean, anything with Robin Williams, even if it's a bad movie, it's gonna be good because he's in it. It has Susan Sarandon, who I really love. It has Paul Walker in it. It's kind of a lot of different plot lines, and all the acting is so strong that it actually works. Next, oh my god, I can't believe I just saw this in the last couple of months, but The Jungle Book. I never saw the cartoon as a kid. I don't know why. I don't remember ever seeing it, but I saw The Jungle Book, like the real live action one, and wow, that kid can act, and I was amazed. Like by the end, I didn't want it to be over. Another one is Miracles from Heaven, which is kind of one of those religious movies. It depends on your beliefs. Obviously, you don't have to think of it as this is based on a true story. You can just think of it as an entertaining movie if you want. I think it was really good. It was touching. It's not what you would expect. The kind of movie that you'd want to watch with your mom. And along with that is Heaven is for Real. They're kind of on the same lines. They're both based off true stories, and both movies have straight up miracles in them. Things that you would never believe. If this was just a movie and you didn't hear it was based on a true story, it'd be one thing, but it is, and that's what's so crazy about it. And the guy who plays in Heaven is for Real one, I cannot remember his name, because the guy who plays Tina Fey's love interest in Baby Mama. If that helps you at all. Next, Sister Cities. Sister Cities has Troyan Bellisario, definitely saying that wrong, from Pretty Little Liars, the really annoying Georgina girl from Gossip Girl and Harry the Spy. It has Stana Katic, who I love from Castle, and it's about all these 4 sisters who were named after different cities. I think it was like the city they were conceived in or something, but they're raised by a single mother, and she is definitely unique. And they all have to come together and get to know each other kind of again, and it's really, really, really sad, but it's really touching and good, and that's another really good mother-daughter movie. Bicentennial Man. I cannot believe I haven't mentioned this in a video before, and if I did, I'm sorry for repeating it, but it's worthy. If you don't remember Bicentennial Man, it's Robin Williams playing a robot who has emotions, and it's insane and amazing, and I don't know how they came up with the idea. It's just such a interesting plot and such an amazing story, and there's nothing bad to say about it. Like, every actor is good, the moments and the feelings, and like, it's so weird. It's just not a story you see a lot of, and there's nothing like it. And if you haven't seen Bicentennial Man, watch it. Oh my god, it's so good. Next, Bridget Jones' Baby. Oh my god. So obviously everyone's seen the first 2 Bridget Jones movies. I'm assuming if you haven't, then go watch them. Bridget Jones' Baby was the 3rd installment, and usually when most movies get to their 3rd installment, it's not great, and it kind of sucks, and you're like, ah, it's not gonna be good. And I rented this one going in thinking, okay, it's not gonna be as good as the first 2. It's just not. It's not gonna be on the same lines. There's no way. And I was very impressed. I loved it. It was funny. The characters were still point on to what they were in the first 2 movies. We see a lot of fun stuff that just like takes you back to the other ones, but it's also new stuff that brings you currently as well. I think Patrick Dempsey was a great choice to add in. His character was super fun and definitely what I wanted, and it wasn't like a replacement of Hugh Grant. It was just a complete different person, but it was like the right kind of person for this movie, and it was just so good. It was so good, and it ends how I wanted it to end, and that's the kind of movie I would watch over and over again, and I can't wait for it to be on TV. Next is Finding Dory. Obviously, I'm way behind on that. I saw Finding Nemo in theaters when I was in like 4th grade or something, and I thought, you know what, Finding Dory, people have seen it multiple times, people love it, and I haven't seen it, and I watched it and I liked it. It wasn't my favorite movie ever, but if like the kids I babysit for want to watch it, I would be excited to watch it, not like, oh, you know what I mean? If you haven't seen Finding Dory, it's worth watching for sure. Working Girl's 80s, I believe, and it's really good. It has really great people in it, and it has a lot of stuff that I feel like is really useful to now. It's pretty much about a woman finding her place in the job world, you know, in business. She's smart and she's capable, but she keeps getting hired as like a secretary, and she just wants to do more. And it's kind of her finding that place and finding love. If you haven't seen Working Girl, it's definitely a good one to watch. 7 Pounds with Will Smith. I feel like I've blocked that out since I've seen it because it's just so intense and like heartbreaking but amazing. It's kind of just his journey and some other people's journeys, and I can't ruin it because I feel like if I give anything away it's gonna ruin it. Definitely give it a watch if you can find it. I've seen it on TV sometimes. Oh, Feast of Love. I wrote it down. I forgot what it was. Feast of Love is amazing. It has Morgan Freeman. It has the same guy I was talking about earlier from Baby Mama. It's really nice. It has a lot of people, like a lot of different plot lines that all kind of come together, but it's not like mainstream actors other than Morgan Freeman. It's touching, it's romantic, it's more real. It's kind of like an indie type movie that feels more real, doesn't feel so like that could never happen. Next is The Meddler, and I've been dying to see this. It's been on my list of movies to watch for so long. And that is with Susan Sarandon. And Susan Sarandon is one of my favorite actresses. I love her. A lot of movies show women in their 40s, 50s, 60s as like, okay, well, we've lived life, so we have all this confidence and we're fine. We have no self-esteem issues. We don't second guess ourselves. But she plays roles where she does. She plays roles where she does second guess herself, even at that age, which I think is really real. I know women at that age who, you know, they're not as done growing and learning as people think. And it's kind of about that. It's kind of about this woman's place in life. Her husband dies and she's trying to form more relationships. She has a daughter and she meets people and just wants to help them and does anything she can, and she just gets involved in people's lives, and it's really cool and interesting, and it's about her life and how it's changed since her husband died and her dealing with that and the mourning his loss, as well as growing and kind of moving on and living her life without him. At age 17, I don't like that girl. What's her name? Haley Steinfeld or something. I don't love her. She's not bad. I don't know, I feel like if they chose someone else it would be a smidge better. I did like it though. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's definitely a coming of age movie. It's very along the lines of, you know, if you're in high school, you're gonna like it. It's the kind of movie you're gonna want to watch, kind of how it's gonna be how you feel. I mean, I don't know that I felt I related to it now, but I know if I had seen it when I was around 17, it would have been probably one of my favorite movies at the time, because I would have felt related to. I would have felt like someone finally wrote a movie that I could kind of feel. I could really get. I could get where she was coming from. I could get, you know, how she felt, and it wasn't fake. It wasn't about vampires, and it was cool. And I think that if you're in that age, even just starting college, it will be a really cool movie to watch. Passengers. Oh my god, so many people didn't like Passengers. First of all, I love Chris Pratt. It's super interesting, and I definitely think that there's not other movies exactly like this. It's not what I expected. There's a lot of action. Not the kind of movie I'd want to see in theaters because it's definitely loud. It was definitely the kind of movie that gets you thinking. You know, when it ends, you think more. It doesn't just end and you move on. Like, you're gonna think about it that night and the next day and stuff. Oh, one movie I saw last night was called Allied with Brad Pitt and what's her face? I can't remember her name. But it was definitely not what I expected from what you see on the commercial. It is not exactly what you expect. The last hour is my favorite part. It started really slow. It was 2 hours long. I think they could have made it the normal movie length, like 90 minutes, because the first half hour to 45 minutes felt like it took forever to get started. Like, it just felt like, okay, what's gonna happen? Okay, like, I don't get it. What's the main point? And the point that we see in the commercial is that the place that Brad Pitt works thinks that his wife is a spy. And we don't get to that point until so late in the movie, and that's kind of what bothered me. But the part after that definitely was good and not expected and well done, and the acting was great and everything. They just could have like cut off the first half hour. And then, not my type of movie normally, but I love Andrew Garfield, and that's Hacksaw Ridge. If you don't like violence, don't watch this movie. If you don't like blood and guts and gore, don't watch this movie. But wow, Andrew Garfield's acting is phenomenal. I just think he's such a good actor. It's insane how he can really come across as a real person who has so much emotion, and Hacksaw Ridge is based on a true story, which is insane. When you see what happens in this movie, you're like, how could this have possibly happened? And obviously they had to change some things. If you just look up online, you can see the differences. I do that a lot when I watch movies that are based on like real things, and it's crazy how they actually didn't change that much, and how much of the stuff that you would watch in this movie and think there's no way that happened, and actually it's true. It's crazy. There's definitely moments where, I mean, they definitely didn't have to make it that gory. Like, I watched Saving Private Ryan and it wasn't that gory, and this was so gory, like, for a war movie, like, so, like, you see stuff that people really did see. Like, I didn't sign up for the army. I don't want to see that. It kind of opens your eyes to like how war really is, or was, at least back then, and it's really sad, and it makes me upset that like that actually happened. If you like war movies and you like Andrew Garfield, watch it. If you don't like gore, there's too much for you to handle. Oh, The Impossible. I can't believe I haven't mentioned this already, but The Impossible is with Ewan McGregor. Is that his name? That sounds so weird to say. And Naomi Watts, and it's their family during the tsunami and how they all get separated and have to find each other, and it is based on a true story, which is crazy again. If you need a good cry, like a good bawling, ugly, snotty cry, watch it. It's just like, oh. Like, if you've been feeling kind of numb to the world and don't really have any emotions and you feel kind of like a robot, watch that, because if you don't cry during that movie, then you need to go get help. One is a documentary, and that's called Food Choices on Netflix. I want to do a whole video about this, and I did mention it in a video recently, but Food Choices is the best documentary I've probably ever seen. You guys know, if you've seen my vegan rant, I'm very kind of like annoyed when people want to push their ideas on other people. This movie just kind of educates you, and it gives you the information, lets you take what you will from it, and I love that. So many things like that don't do that. So many things judge people. It just talks to you about animal products and eating animal products and what it does to your body. And what I found probably the most interesting was how we are kind of conditioned in this society to think things that aren't healthy are healthy, and it teaches you, where that information we normally get is coming from, which is actually from brands and people who are trying to make money, not from nutritionists or scientists or people who actually know what they're talking about. It made me not want to be vegan or vegetarian, because I know I couldn't handle it completely, but it definitely has helped me to cut back a lot on certain foods and meat products and animal products, and I've already been cutting back on dairy a lot, and it definitely helped me do that more easily. And it's not gonna change your life or shake you up that much, but it's so eye-opening. And if you like documentaries, if you like learning about health and food, watch it. Grosse Point Blank, that's also on Netflix. It's with John Cusack, and his sister is in it as well, and I want to say it's 80s 90s movie, and it's about this guy who's an assassin, I think, and he has to go back to his high school reunion to do like a job, and he runs into his old girlfriend from high school, and it's kind of him trying to woo her. Oh, and Minnie Driver is his high school crush too, so that makes the whole movie. If you like Minnie Driver, I love Minnie Driver. It's super funny and super weird, and I love it. It's a good date movie, I think. Thumbelina, holy moly, I haven't thought about Thumbelina in so long. I think that was my favorite for Disney princess movie, if that was a Disney movie. I don't even know. I don't know if I just felt related to her because she was tiny and I was always thin or something, I don't know. But the reason I started thinking about it was because Charo was on Dancing with the Stars, and I didn't know where I knew her from. I knew she was obviously famous, but I was like, where do I know her from? She sounds so familiar, and I could not think of it. And then I remembered, oh my god, she played the Mrs. Frog on Thumbelina. Holy moly. And her voice is like exact, and even like the way they made the frog looks like her. It's craziness. And then I started thinking about Thumbelina, and I was like, oh my god, I love Thumbelina so much, so I just want to throw that out there. And the last one, certainly not least, and I'm way behind the bandwagon on here, but Beauty and the Beast. Holy smokes, I was so nervous about that because everyone was like, it's amazing, it's amazing. And then some people were like, I don't know. But they really kept the essence of the original, and they, made it a little bit more extravagant. I saw it in theaters too. It was so loud. Like, I hate loud. It was so loud. I walked out thinking, wow, I was really impressed with that. You get really attached to these characters. I think every single actor was perfectly chosen. It was crazy to go to the movies to see it because there's kids, there's adults without kids, there's adults like my age, there's like older people, and it's just so cool how so many people wanted to see it. And I think everyone walked out thinking, that's so fun. That was my last movie recommendation for this video. And let me know if you like these movies, if you've seen them. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Movie recommendations. Okay.